this week's episode of Live Large.
All right, we're back. We're revisiting one of the most popular chest exercises of all time, the dumbbell chest press. What we're gonna do with you guys today is introduce you to a different way of thinking about recruiting your chest on this exercise. So what does everybody do when they do any form of chest exercise? What do they think about? They think about moving the weights away from them. We want you to think about it differently. This is gonna be one of the biggest game-changing techniques that helps you recruit your pecs. Ben, maybe you can explain why. We're gonna think about, as we press the weights, before we even start pressing the weights, what we're gonna think about is we're gonna think about shoving our trunk into the fixed object, the bench, and that's gonna instantaneously recruit more pec muscle.
Okay, so you know Vince and I take the geeky approach to fitness, but we're gonna try to make this as simple as possible. Physics, exercise is physics. So where there's a force pushing in one direction, there's an equal and opposite force pushing in the opposite direction. Irrefutable fact of life. So if I'm trying to move a weight in this direction, so I'm laying on my back and I'm trying to move a weight up, what's the most efficient way to push my body? Exact, equal, and opposite, right? So what we're trying to do with every exercise that you do, when I'm trying to move a weight in one direction and you try to shove your body in the exact opposite direction, it's gonna give you optimal leverage. So when Vince is on his back, trying to push the weight away from him, the weight's moving this way, the most optimal way for him to push his body is opposite. So that's gonna obviously lock your body into position and give you the most optimal positioning and leverage to move the maximum amount of resistance in the proper plane. So you lock your body, you don't allow anything to move, and you give yourself maximum leverage by shoving in the opposite direction.
What happens is that you immediately switch on your pecs. Most guys drop their weights 30, 40 pounds immediately and discover that they weren't using their pecs at all when they got up to those 80, 90s. There was other things happening. So this is gonna be a great opportunity for you guys to learn how to use your pecs while keeping the emphasis on your chest the whole time, where you want it to be. All right, so let's maybe give them a shot.
Let's do it.
All right, let's do this. The way you need to learn this the first time is with some lighter weights, and you're gonna find this instantly slows you down.
So the first thing you do, you start in a maximally stretched position and you lock your abs. You pull your shoulders back, nothing moves from that position. All you think about is shoving your force, shoving your body exactly in that direction. Go. And you'll feel it immediately switch on. So push your body, there you go. Nothing's moving, look, nothing else in your body is moving other than pecs. Literally you can see them contract. Amazing. And the same idea when you're pulling down, you want to pull that weight down. Nothing else locked, nothing else moving. That body's locked. The abs are tight. Pushing this body into the bench. Sick.
All right, so a lot of people ask us, we have to explain this on video because a lot of people ask us, how do you build your pecs? I'm doing what I think you're doing. You're doing chest presses, I do chest presses, but what you don't see is what's happening internally. Force is created on the inside, so you can't learn exercise simply by watching other people do things, because there's a lot of stuff happening that you can't see. So once you start applying the stuff that Ben just explained, you're gonna start seeing incremental improvements in your chest development.
So guys, one thing you want to point out, this is very, very simple. We're gonna try to teach you one thing at a time. The next thing we're gonna teach you is how to think about moving your elbows instead of thinking about moving your weight. So tune in next week. We're gonna teach you guys exactly how to do the same exercise and take it to a whole new level by moving your elbows to recruit your pecs as opposed to moving the weight. It's really, really cool. You're gonna wanna watch this.
What would you include in a post-workout shake?
Good question. So the first thing is to figure out what your goal is. When I'm getting closer to a photo shoot or a competition, essentially when I'm getting close to the last 10 pounds of fat I need to lose, I cut my carbohydrates. Up until the final 10 pounds, I'll still keep carbs in. So let's deal with people who want to lose fat, what their post-workout shake should look like. Ideally, one, you want a fast digesting protein. So that's why we go towards a protein shake. It's going to be digested far faster than, say, a steak. That's why we don't eat steak post-workout. Okay, so this week we're going to take a look at optimal training techniques, specific bodybuilding techniques for control and hypertrophy. I have a lot that you probably haven't heard of or considered or implemented, and these are extremely valuable. We're gonna lump the different techniques I have into 2 different categories depending on your goals, control and hypertrophy. So before we build muscle, we have to learn how to control our muscles.
Today we want to talk about, I've talked a lot about this, but I felt like we need to address it again just to drive it home. Another relational passion killer is having an unsupported lifestyle. Having a lifestyle where you don't have life-giving relationships. And if you want to change your life, I believe the quickest way to change is to change who you are close to. I call it upgrading your friends.